You know that feeling? The one where you slap your pocket for the third time in 10 minutes just to make sure it's still there. That little flash of panic followed by the sweet reassurance of cold steel tucked away where nobody can see it. Yeah, that's the concealed carry life. Now here's the twist. Today isn't about the polymer workhorses or optic-ready wonders that dominate the 2025 conversation. We're zooming in on something older, simpler, but still wickedly effective, the micro-revolver. Forget the long-barreled classics your granddad toted around. These things are stripped down, featherlight, snag-free guardians designed to vanish until you call on them. When even a slim semi-auto feels like a brick in your pocket, these little beasts melt into your jeans like loose change. And while most folks argue over grip textures and red dots, some of us keep faith in 5 or 6 rounds of no-nonsense, battery-free reliability, pure mechanical trust. So, let's count down 5 tiny revolvers that punch way above their size. Let's kick things off with the tiniest terror on this list, the North American Arms Pug. The first time I pocketed this thing, I legit thought I'd lost it. I did a full-on TSA pat-down in my own hallway, convinced it slipped out somewhere between the kitchen and the couch. Turns out, it was chilling right next to my chapstick like it owned the place. That's the Pug in a nutshell. It doesn't just conceal, it practically vanishes. Now, North American Arms has been doing this mini revolver game since the 1970s. They've carved out a reputation for building what some folks call the Swiss watches of pocket guns, small, intricate, but brutally dependable. The Pug is their crown jewel for deep concealment, at just 4.5 inches long and tipping the scales at 6.4 ounces. This revolver is borderline microscopic. If it got any smaller, you'd need a jeweler's loupe just to load the cylinder. But here's the thing, don't let its size fool you. Chambered in .22 Magnum. This little beast isn't meant for Hollywood shootouts. It's designed for one very specific purpose, creating breathing room when someone's already inside your bubble, across a car hood, across a cafe table, across that uncomfortable arm's length. You've got 5 shots of sharp, snappy firepower that can turn the tables fast. Yes, it's single action, which means you've got to thumb that baby hammer for every round. Think spaghetti western. Only compressed into pocket size. Reloading forgets speed. This is a deliberate, slow ritual, which is why those 5 shots matter. But within that limitation lies its charm. Absolute reliability. Fewer moving parts. Fewer excuses for failure. Shooting the Pug is an experience all its own. The bark is louder than you'd expect. The recoil is a quick snap instead of a shove. And the grip feels like you're holding onto a Zippo lighter that suddenly grew fangs. It's not comfortable. It's not pretty. But it's effective. The Pug isn't a range toy. And it's definitely not built for comfort. It's a fire extinguisher with a trigger. You hope you never need it. But if the flames start licking at your shirt, you'll be damn glad it's there. If a Hornet had a baby with a keychain, you'd get the NIA Pug. The first time you touch off a full-power .357 Magnum out of the Smith Wesson 340 PD, you don't just hear it, you survive it. This isn't a gentle push against your palm. It's a flashbang going off in your hand, complete with a thunderclap that turns heads 2 zip codes away. People say good things come in small packages. Clearly, they never pulled the trigger on this monster. Here's why it makes the list. It's the lightest .357 Magnum revolver on the planet, 6.3 inches long, weighing a ridiculous 11.8 ounces empty. That's lighter than a can of soup. How does it manage that scandium alloy frame paired with a titanium cylinder? Sounds like comic book metal, but it's real engineering magic. Ultra strong, featherlight, and built for serious business. Now, let's be real. This isn't a revolver you buy for plinking cans on a Saturday afternoon. It's a professional's tool, meant for the trained hand that values maximum power in the smallest possible footprint, loaded with 38 Special plus P. It's snappy but manageable. Drop in full house 357 Magnum, and suddenly you're wrestling a thunderbolt. This is not a beginner's gun. It demands respect, strong wrists, and a willingness to embrace the punishment in exchange for fight-stopping power. The double-action trigger. Heavy but smooth. Exactly what you want when the stakes are high and your revolver is riding deep in a pocket holster. With its enclosed hammer, the draw is snag-free. As slick as pulling a bar of soap from your jeans, carrying the 340 PD is almost comical. It disappears. You forget it's there until you need it. But the moment it barks, it delivers a promise overwhelming force in a package no bigger than your wallet. That's its whole personality. This isn't a friendly sidearm. This is a pocket rocket, a steel ultimatum that whispers in your holster and roars in your hand. If the NIA Pug is a fire extinguisher, the 340 PD is a stick of dynamite in your back pocket. Small, unassuming, but capable of turning a bad day into pure chaos, on your terms. At first glance, the Ruger LCR doesn't look like it belongs on the same shelf as the classics. To the traditional eye, it almost comes off as a toy. Polymer frame, rounded edges, futuristic lines, the kind of thing a die-hard wheel gun fan would scoff at before even pulling the trigger. But that skepticism, it vanishes the instant you actually fire it. The LCR. Lightweight compact revolver hit the market in 2009, and it was Ruger's mic drop to anyone who thought revolvers were stuck in the past. Instead of clinging to tradition, they pushed forward with a hybrid frame polymer housing on the bottom, monolithic aluminum up top. The result? A revolver that's lighter than most, but still strong enough to chew through 38 Special plus P without rattling itself apart. Specs put it at 6.5 inches long and 13.5 ounces. But numbers don't tell the whole story. The real magic is in the ergonomics. The standard Hogue Tamar grip doesn't just sit in your hand, it soaks up recoil like it was born for it. And then there's the trigger. I'll say it flat, this is one of the best factory double-action triggers you'll ever feel in a snub nose. Smooth pull, clean break, no grit. It's the kind of trigger that makes you forget you're working with a pocket revolver and start stacking rounds on target like you're shooting something twice the size. On the range, that translates into confidence. At 7 to 10 yards, you can put shots on paper all day without feeling like your hand's being punished. That's a huge deal for a carry gun, because a revolver you actually enjoy practicing with is one you'll train more with. And more training equals more confidence when it counts. The LCR also comes in multiple flavors. 22 LR, 9mm, even 327 Federal, for those who want something different. But the 38 Special plus P version remains the sweet spot for balance and practicality. It carries easy, it draws clean, and it shoots better than it has any right to. If the NIA Pug is a fire extinguisher and the 340 PD is dynamite, the LCR is your daily driver. Dependable, efficient, always ready. It may not be flashy, but it's like a Toyota Camry in revolver form, boringly excellent, relentlessly reliable, and guaranteed to get the job done every single day. There are revolvers that come and go, hyped for a few years before fading into the background. And then there are revolvers, like the Smith Wesson 642 guns that refuse to die because they simply don't know how. If the LCR is the Camry of pocket guns, the 642 is the cast iron skillet old school, heavy enough to remind you it's there, but absolutely guaranteed to outlast you. The 642 belongs to the legendary J-frame family, a series that's been riding in pockets, ankle holsters, and glove boxes since the 1950s. For decades, it was the go-to backup gun for cops who trusted their lives to it when their primary sidearm wasn't an option. That track record didn't come from marketing flash. It came from sheer, boring, bulletproof reliability, specs-wise. The 642 is straightforward 6.3 inches long, 14.6 ounces. 5 rounds of .38 Special plus P. It's a little heavier than the Ruger LCR, and it makes no apologies for it. The enclosed hammer means it draws smooth from a pocket or ankle rig. No snag, no nonsense. This is a gun built for carrying deep, drawing fast, and firing under stress. Shooting the 642 is honest. The double-action trigger is heavier than the LCRs and stacks a little toward the end. But once you learn it, it's consistent as a metronome. Recoil with plus P loads is stout, but that extra ounce or two of weight helps tame the snap. It doesn't pamper you. It doesn't need to. It just does what it's supposed to, every single time. This revolver doesn't have polymer magic or scandium wizardry. It doesn't pretend to be modern or futuristic. What it has instead is pedigree. You can feel the history when you hold it. The countless officers, security guards, and everyday citizens who carried the same silhouette for generations. The 642 doesn't strut. It doesn't shine. It just works. Think of it like that pair of broken-in leather boots that never let you down, or that skillet passed down from your grandfather, scuffed, unglamorous, but absolutely dependable when you need it most. Every so often, a gun comes along that doesn't just join the conversation, it rewrites it. The Kimber K6S is that gun for decades. The world of snub-nose revolvers was locked into the same Formula 5 shots, lightweight frames, and compromises you had to live with. Then in 2016, Kimber, known mostly for their 1911 pistols, decided to drop a bomb, a 6-shot, all stainless steel, premium-grade revolver that could slip into your pocket yet shoot like something twice its size. People raised eyebrows. But the moment shooters pulled the trigger, the K6S earned its spot at the top. Spec's first 2-inch barrel, 15.9 ounces, 6 rounds of .38 Special or .357 Magnum. That one extra round might not sound like much, but in a world where pocket revolvers almost universally cap at 5, it's a 20% jump in firepower, and it doesn't stop there. The trigger is a revelation, smooth, light, and free of stacking, making double-action shooting feel like silk compared to the crunchy pulls of older designs. Add in excellent sights, including bright dot and even night sight options, and suddenly you've got a revolver that doesn't just survive modern standards, it competes head-on. Shooting the K6S is an experience that makes you grin. That extra bit of weight, instead of being a burden, soaks up recoil and steadies your hand. Even with plus P ammo, the gun stays controllable, letting you place rounds quickly and precisely. It doesn't beat you up. It doesn't punish you for practice. Instead, it invites you to shoot more. And that's rare in the world of small-frame revolvers, where most designs feel like a chore after a box of ammo. The fit and finish pure Kimber, stainless steel frame that feels like it was carved from a block of confidence, smooth edges, snag-free contours, and a grip that just makes sense in the hand. It's not gaudy, it's not flashy, but it has a refined toughness, like a high-end hiking boot that still laughs at mud and rocks. This isn't just a tool. It's a statement, serious, capable, and a little bit luxurious. Is it more expensive than the others on this list? Absolutely. But when you handle it, when you shoot it, you understand where the money went. This is the revolver that feels less like a compromise and more like a primary weapon, one you'd trust without hesitation. The Kimber K6S doesn't just top this list, it redefines what a pocket revolver can be. So there you have it, 5 micro revolvers that prove old-school wheel guns still have plenty of fight left in 2025. From the microscopic NAA Pug to the refined Kimber K6S, each one brings its own flavor concealment so deep you'll forget it's there. Recoil that'll rattle your fillings, triggers smoother than some semi-autos, and reliability that laughs at time itself. But here's the truth, owning one of these isn't the end of the story. A pocket revolver is still a serious weapon. It won't magically turn you into a cowboy, and it sure as hell won't forgive sloppy habits. That means range time, dry fire drills, and a good pocket holster that keeps lint where it belongs. Think of it like carrying a fire extinguisher. You hope you'll never need it. But if the flames rise, you'll be glad you know how to use it. These guns aren't burdens. They're insurance policies written in steel and gunpowder. Now it's your turn. What's your go-to deep concealment piece? One of these 5 or something else entirely? Drop it in the comments. No wrong answers here. Just personal choices. Stay safe, stay sharp, and carry smart.